For the 30th consecutive year, KOLN KGIN TV presents live coverage of the Nebraska State High School Basketball Tournament. Direct from the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln. Brought to you in part by NC Plus Hybrids and your local NC Plus dealer. And by Snapper Lawn Care Products. And by the B.F. Goodrich Dealers of Central Nebraska. Now, we take you to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for this championship boys basketball game.
State champions have been crowned, and we have 3 more championship games to go in the 1987 Boys State High School Basketball Tournament. I'm Dick Janda, and with me to help call the action for our evening session tonight will be Dr. Lynn Farrell, past basketball coach at Hastings College. Doc, it looks like we've had 3 good games and 3 more to go. This tournament has been close throughout, and it should be no different here for these championship finals tonight.
Well, I think like you mentioned, we've got 3 great matchups, and also, as you mentioned, that's been pretty typical of the whole tournament. So I think if these teams have any experiences like they had last night, why, the fans are in for a great evening.
The first game to start our evening session is a good one. The D1 championship between Sterling and Hampton, and we'll be back with it after this timeout. The D1 state championship between the Hampton Hawks and the Sterling Jets. Both teams come into this game 22-1. Both are rated number 2 in one poll and number 3 in the other in the final regular season ratings, and it looks like on paper about as even a matchup as you could want.
Well, I think the rankings and the ratings or whatever pretty much tells it all, and also if that doesn't, their record does, 22-1. And as we mentioned on earlier, it's, I think, going to be a great matchup.
It's the first time at state for Hampton since 1974. Sterling was here last year and has all 5 starters back from the 16-5 team of last year. Sterling has an experienced squad. Of the 12 members on the Sterling team, 9 are seniors. Their only loss this year to Class C2 Lincoln Christian. Hampton's only loss this year in overtime to McCool Junction. And to get here to the state finals, Hampton beat Spencer 50-45 in the opening round. Then in the semifinals last night, it was Hampton 73 and Sandhills 57, and Hampton gets to the state D1 championship with a 22-1 record. Sterling, on the other hand, beat Maxwell 85-54 in the opening round, then beat Coleridge 64-53 in the semifinals last night, a 9 o'clock game. So Sterling also advances to the state finals with a 22-1 record. Now, Hampton is not without experience also. They have 3 seniors on their starting lineup. They also start a junior and a sophomore, while Sterling does have all that experience. As I mentioned, 9 of the players on their team are seniors, and Sterling has the size. I think that's one of the things we can watch for in this game.
Well, Sterling does bring a strong, physical senior team. I look for them to extend their 2-3 zone probably all the way out to half court, then do some trapping out there and try to get their running game going. So I think that Hampton's going to have to be looking for that right off the start.
Let's turn it over now to Roy Churchill to introduce the players.
For the Class D1 championship is
Well, we have our first severe weather of the season. The National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning. It is in effect until 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the people in the following counties of southern central Nebraska, and that is Nuckolls and Webster's counties. At 4:55, a tornado was reported by the public about 3 miles north of Red Cloud, Nebraska, moving toward the east-northeast at 10 miles an hour. We're going to take a look at the National Weather Service radar right now out of Grand Island, Nebraska, and it's this very strong, intense cell in the extreme southern portions of Nebraska and also into northern Kansas as well, and it's the red shaded portions of the radar that show the most intense activity. And again, this was reported 3 miles to the north of Red Cloud, so people around Cowles and Guide Rock and Lawrence and St. Stephen's towns in Webster and Nuckolls counties should be aware of some severe weather moving to the northeast at about 10 miles an hour. Again, radar indicated a possible tornado near Red Cloud, and a tornado was reported by the public 3 miles north of Red Cloud, Nebraska, moving again to the east-northeast at 10 miles an hour. Persons in the warned area should take shelter in a basement if available. Otherwise, go to a small interior room on the lowest floor. Cars definitely should be abandoned and be on the lookout for some very severe weather moving again to the north-northeast. Again, a tornado warning in effect until 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for Nuckolls and Webster counties of Nebraska. Stay tuned for more details.
And number 54, Scott Clutie. Starting in this afternoon's contest for Sterling, number 11, 5'10" senior, Dean Hesterman. For Hampton, number 20, 5'10" senior, Steve Arndt. For the Sterling Jets, number 33, 6'4" senior, Galen Bartel. For the Hampton Hawks, number 30, 6'3" sophomore, Trent Eichhoff. For Sterling, number 35, 6'2" senior, Eric Haynes. For Hampton, number 32, 6'3" senior, Jim Hopner. For the Sterling Jets, number 41, 6'4" senior, Jim Bartel. For the Hampton Hawks, number 40, 5'10" senior, Myron Parsley. For Sterling, number 43, 6'2" senior, Mike Pychek. For Hampton, number 42, 6'4" senior, Brian Dick. The assistant coach at Sterling, Arlo Watts. At Hampton, Leroy Dick and Tim Trasker. And the head coach at Sterling, Jerry Beach. The head coach at Hampton, Jerry Eichhoff. Referees in this afternoon's contest, Tex Harvey, Orv Qualisek.
The leading scorers for the Hampton Hawks are Myron Parsley and Brian Dick, each average around 16 points a game. For Sterling, they are led by Galen Bartles, about 16 points a game, and Eric Haynes, about 15. And wouldn't you know it, Bartles and Haynes are the top two scorers for Sterling.
Well, I told you early on I was going to let you handle that.
Sterling will be shown in the dark uniforms, maroon with yellow numerals or gold numerals and gold and white trim. Hampton will be in the white uniforms with purple numerals, purple and gold trim. Sterling will move from right to left, Hampton from left to right as we get it started.
Dick, I think it's going to be interesting to watch these two coaches. They're good friends. In fact, Jerry Beach was in the Crossroads Conference at Bradshaw until 2 years ago before moving to Sterling, so they know each other quite well, and I think that's going to maybe play a little part in this game.
Brian Dick jumps against Galen Bartles, and Sterling controls to start the game. Just underway in the D1 championship, and the first shot of the game is no good by Mike Pychek of Sterling, and so Hampton brings it up. Both teams 22-1. Coming into the state finals, getting his own rebound is Parsley. And Parsley scores the first 2 points of the game, and it's 2-0 Hampton.
I think what we're seeing develop here already, it looks like that Hampton is in a triangle and two. Undoubtedly, they're going to play the two Sterling guards man-to-man and try to force the bigger Sterling players away from the basket inside.
Here's Parsley, no-look pass, and the basket underneath by Brian Dick. Another illustration of how even these two teams are. Both average 65 points a game coming into the tournament, and both give up right around 47 or 48. So they are very, very close on paper. A whistle stops play and a foul inside. It looks like it's going to be on Brian Dick of Hampton. The Hawks out to a 4-0 lead early. Their only loss this season in overtime to McCool Junction. Sterling's only loss this year to Class C2 Lincoln Christian. All 5 starters back from last year's team for Sterling. First time at state for Hampton since 1974. Shot no good by Pychek. The follow try also no good, and the rebound comes down to Steve Arndt of Hampton. Hampton beating Spencer and Sandhills to get here to the finals, and Sterling beating Maxwell and Coleridge. Almost stolen away, but saved by Hoffner. Good following of fans on hand. They are very vocal.
It's just about like we anticipated. Sterling's dropped back in the 2-3 zone, and they're also going to try to make Hampton shoot from the outside.
Here comes the Sterling Jets. Saved nicely by Pychek, and it will be Hampton's ball.
It will be interesting to see what kind of a start Eric Haynes gets here. He's been having, as you know, just a great tournament. And I think, of course, it's important for Sterling that he get off to another good start here this evening.
Galen Bartles and Jim Bartles are cousins on the Sterling team. Trent Eichhoff, starting forward for Hampton, is the son of Hampton coach Jerry Eichhoff. Jerry Eichhoff in his 17th year at Hampton, and Jerry Beach in his 2nd year now at Sterling. And traveling will be called on Steve Arndt.
For Sterling, Galen Bartles is their leading scorer with almost 16 points a game, and Jim Bartles is their leading rebounder with 10 rebounds per game. So they play a big part on both ends of the floor.
4-0. Hampton still in the lead. Shot up and no good by Jim Bartles, and a foul on the rebound. Well, we've got 3 big championship games to come your way tonight. Following this one will be the B title game between Pius and Aurora. And capping off the evening, Norfolk and Lincoln East in Class A, as you see the foul right there. Committed by Jim Hoppner. First personal for Hoppner, 2nd team foul for Hampton. And Galen Bartles at the free throw line gets the first point for Sterling. 4-1 now, Hampton in the lead by 3. Gets them both. Hampton located generally in the central part of the state, Sterling in the southeast. 4-2, Hampton with the lead and the ball, and Parsley.
I think it's interesting to note that Hampton is from Hamilton County, and so is Aurora. They're only 6 miles apart, and of course the Aurora fans are already here for the next game, so that could play a little bit of a part in Hampton's favor for the night.
Dean Hesterman puts it up and in for Sterling. We've made much of the 3 teams that qualified for state from Johnson County. Sterling is one of those, so both these schools have real good basketball counties this year. And a foul will be called on Dean Hesterman. Sterling, Tecumseh, and Nemaha Valley all made it here from Johnson County, and Hampton and Aurora both in the finals from Hamilton County. And of course, earlier this afternoon, Nemaha Valley was beaten by Humphrey in the C2 final game. Inside it goes from the free throw line. Brian Dick with the basket for Hampton.
If he can continue to hit from out there, the high post area, that really makes it tough on his own defense.
Shot by Jim Bartles, no good. Rebound comes down to Myron Parsley. 4:35 to go first quarter. Hampton in the lead, 8-4. Knocked away, but Hampton retains possession. Steve Arndt. Inside, Jim Hoppner, and a whistle, a foul. It's on Mike Pychek of Sterling.
That was an example. The last time down, they went to the high post area and got a basket. That time they went down low. So anytime you can go high-low against the zone, why, it's going to give them problems sooner or later.
Sterling goes 6'4", 6'2", and 6'4" with its front line. Hampton 6'3", 6'3", and 6'4". Follow shot still won't fall for the Hawks, and it's off Hampton. It'll be Sterling's ball. The Sterling Jets and the Hampton Hawks.
I can see already why Brian Dick is the leading rebounder for Hampton. He's going to get on the boards. I can see that.
4 minutes to go. We're midway through the first quarter in the D1 State Championship. Sterling 1 for 7 from the field. They've been cold to start. Hampton 50% from the field, 4 for 8. And a turnover, Hampton will get it. Still 8-4, Hampton with the lead and the basketball. Steve Arndt out front. Myron Parsley. Inside, Brian Dick, but the rebound comes down to Galen Bartles. Sterling a mile a minute. Saved in bounds, and now it'll be Sterling's ball. Off Hampton, Sterling will get it under its own goal. Shot up and in by Galen Bartles. He now has 4 points, and it is 8-6. Hampton by 2.
He, of course, is the leading scorer for the Jets, and looks like he's going to get off the launching pad early here.
Bartles averages about 16 points a game. He had 21 in the opening round win for Sterling, and then 14 in the semifinals last night. And a whistle stops play. Foul will be called on Mike Pychek. Orv Qualsett and Tex Harvey, the officials for this game, both from Grand Island.
Foul on Pychek, his second foul.
And timeout is called. So there's timeout on the court with 3:04 to go in the first period, and the score in the D1 State Championship is Hampton 8 and Sterling 6. Here's another look at the last basket for Sterling by Galen Bartels. And Hampton leads it 8-6 with 3:04 to go in the first quarter. Hampton will inbound under its own basket. Knocked out of bounds, it's off Parsley, and it'll be Sterling's ball.
I think it's interesting to note that Eric Haynes has only had 1 field goal attempt, so the triangle and 2 here, playing man-to-man on him, is been successful today.
Eric Haynes out front, getting the pressure from Parsley. Inside it goes to Pychek, and Hampton comes up with the ball. In the first round, Hampton trailed Spencer much of the game, and then came back in the fourth quarter to win it by 5. Hampton then had a pretty easy time with Sandhills, 73-57. Sterling had fairly wide margins in both of its tournament games, 85-54 over Maxwell and 64-53 over Coleridge. Shot put up and in by Brian Dick. And it's 10-6. Hampton back up by 4. Back out it goes to Galen Bartles. And the rebound to Hampton. Trent Eichhoff with the defensive rebound there. Here's Parsley. Parsley had 18 in the opening round game, 11 in the semifinals last night. There's Parsley open. 6 points for Myron Parsley, and it's 12-6. Biggest lead of the game for Hampton. 1:52 to go, first quarter, and it's knocked down by Dean Hesterman. 2 players have all of the 8 Sterling points. Dean Hesterman has 4, and Galen Bartels has 4. 12-8, Hampton with the lead by 4. Minute and a half to go, first quarter. Trent Eichhoff tries to go inside, and he has it stolen away. Dean Hesterman with the steal. Pass down court to Haynes. Back out front to Hesterman. And Sterling is back within 2. It's 12-10 Hampton. 1:08 to go in the first quarter. Class D1 State Championship. The B title game to follow, and the Class A title game will follow that.
It's going to be interesting to watch Parsley here this evening. He's the leading scorer, of course, for Hampton. And with Sterling packing that zone back in, he's going to be asked to score from outside, which I know he can do. And at the same time, on the other end, he's drawn the assignment on Eric Haynes in this matchup zone down here. So he's got a big job on both ends of the floor.
Steve Arndt makes that last basket from outside for Hampton, and it's 14-10. The Hawks in front. Jim Bartles. Galen Bartles, and traveling is called. Jim and Galen Bartles are cousins. They are both seniors, both 6'4". "13 seconds, all that remains in the first quarter. Hampton will play for, apparently, a last shot here, leading 14-10. Parsley takes the shot. It's nothing but net. And that's the end of the first quarter in the Class D1 State Boys Championship. Your score is Hampton 16 and Sterling 10. Here's a look at that last basket by Myron Parsley, as he timed it just perfectly to hit it right before the end of the quarter. And the possession arrow points to Hampton, so now the Hawks will get the ball to start the second quarter. Hampton shot 57% in the first quarter, 8 out of 14 from the field. Sterling 4 of 12, 33%. The Jets were a little cold. 16-10. Hampton by 6, their biggest lead of the game. And now it's 8. As Brian Dick gets it, he now has 8 points.
I see that Hampton now is moving Parsley around a little bit. They took him off the wing and put him out on the point, and he was able to get the assist into Dick on the high post.
Sterling on the attack, down by 8. Nice defensive work inside, and it's knocked away into the hands of Myron Parsley. Good defensive work by the Hampton Hawks. Out front it goes to Eichhoff. Now Parsley. 7:12 to go first half. Hitting the court hard is Bartles, Galen Bartles, but traveling, no, a foul is called. Charging foul is called.
It's pretty difficult to penetrate against that zone defense when they're packed in that tight.
Here's another look at that charging foul called on Myron Parsley, his first personal. Each team has 3 team fouls now in this first half. Still neither one in the bonus. And there's a foul. It'll be called on Jim Hoppner of Hampton. And Eric Haynes will go to the line for 2 shots. Haynes yet to score in the game. Averaging 15 points per game coming into the tournament. Second leading scorer for the Sterling team.
A quick look at the shot chart here shows some of the reason for the discrepancy in the shooting percentage. As you can see, Hampton is getting the ball right down the paint, and of course those are high percentage shots. And this matchup zone is forcing Sterling out away from the basket, and I'm sure contributing to their lower percentage.
18-12 now, Hampton by 6. Half-court pressure applied by Sterling. Hampton breaks it. Myron Parsley out front. 6:36 to go first half. At halftime of this game, we'll present the post-game interviews from the D2 Championship. We'll talk to Clearwater about winning a 4th straight state title. Sterling comes down with the basketball. Finally comes down to Hesterman, and he hits it. 8 points for Dean Hesterman, and it's a 4-point game again. Hampton 18 and Sterling 14. Parsley out front. Stolen away by Hesterman. Here he comes with Eric Haynes. No whistle. The basket will simply be good. And that's 4 points for Haynes. He had 37 points in the opening round game and 21 last night. Timeout on the court with 5:37 to go in the half. And the score in the D1 State Championship is now Hampton 18 and Sterling 16. Sterling has pulled within 2 now here of Hampton, as you see the steal by Hesterman. Down court with Haynes, and there was no whistle on this play. He hit the court hard, but no harm, no foul, I guess.
Well, you can see the coaches have got the wheels turning here a little bit. Sterling was having just a little bit of trouble against that matchup zone, so what they've done, they've extended their defense out, getting more aggressive, trying to create the turnovers. There's another one. And, yes, that's another turnover. So what they're going to try to do now is get the ball up the floor and score before the Hampton can get that particular defense set up.
And I bet Sterling would like to get the ball to Haynes. He had 58 points in the tournament coming into the game, but Sterling turns it right back over.
I think he only needs 26 tonight to break the all-time scoring record for a tournament.
Of course, the records are now split up in D and C since the classes have been split. 5 minutes to go in the first half. 18-16. Hampton by 2 with the basketball. Myron Parsley. He'll put it up. And the rebound comes down to Jim Bartles. Here comes Sterling. Eric Haynes to Hesterman. Haynes. Eric Haynes with 6 points. And it's 18-18, our first tie of the game. Hampton has led by as many as 6 on 2 occasions. Parsley.
We're seeing some excellent guard play here. Hesterman, Haynes' running mate at guard is off to an exceptionally fast start. He's hit all 4 of his attempts so far.
Here's Jim Bartles out front, inside, and a foul will be called as Galen Bartles puts it in the basket. It will not count. No basket. The foul before the shot. And it will be Bartles at the free throw line. Here's another look. You see the foul occurred there before he put the shot up. He was just shoved a little bit there, and so he will be at the line for 1 and 1. As Sterling is now in the bonus situation. Galen Bartles, 6'4" senior, averaging about 16 points a game. And he now has 5 points tonight. He had 21 in the opening round and 14 in the semifinals, so he has 35 tournament points coming into this game. And the rebound goes to Brian Dick of Hampton. 20-19. Hampton leading by 1 with the basketball. Parsley, nice dish off. Brian Dick with the basket, and he now has 10 points. Brian Dick and Myron Parsley have 20 of the 22 Hampton points. And Jim Bartles answers right back for Sterling. 22-21, Hampton by 1. Pass right in front of us here at the announce table to Parsley. Stolen away nicely by Eric Haynes. Here's the break, 2-on-2, Haynes. And it will be Sterling's ball. Well, that's twice that Haynes has hit the court hard.
He's an aggressive player. He's not afraid to take it to the basket.
No basket this time, though, and Sterling will simply inbound under its own basket. Traveling. And Hampton will get the ball.
As you can see, Sterling starting to move their defense a little further down the floor all the time.
Bartles to Haynes. 3 minutes to go, first half. Hesterman. And the rebound to Steve Arndt. Brian Dick gets the roll. He now has 12 points. And now a foul called on Arndt. 2:49 to go in the first half. 24-21, 3-point lead for Hampton.
Well, of course, Brian Dix had an outstanding year. He's averaging 16 points a game and about 8 rebounds, so he's doing it here again tonight.
Dean Hesterman's free throw is good. He now has 9 points. That last foul on Arndt was his second. And Hesterman gets into double figures now. Give him 10 points and make it 24-23. Hampton again by 1. And now a foul on Hesterman. But Hampton not in the 1-and-1 yet. They will be on the next foul, so it's just a common foul, and Hampton will inbound under its own, or under the Sterling goal.
We've been talking about how Sterling's been sliding that press further and further down the floor. Now, as you can see, they're an all-out full-court trapping press.
And Parsley breaks it, gets it across the timeline. 2:40 to go, first half. Arndt out front. Has it stolen away. Here comes Haynes. 1-on-2, and Haynes cannot make it go down. The rebound comes away to Brian Dick. Hampton still with the lead by 1 point. Myron Parsley. Eichhoff. Hampton gets the foul shot in. Brian Dick.
That was a great offensive rebound.
14 points for Brian Dick now, and it's 26-23 with 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go before halftime. Mike Pyshek gets his first 2 points of the night, and it's 26-25. Sterling trading basket for basket now with Hampton. The Hawks led by 6 at the quarter. They lead by 1 right now.
Sterling showing a 1-3-1 trap and then drops back into the 2-3.
Stolen away by Hesterman. Minute and a half to go before halftime. Hesterman. And Sterling has its first lead of the game, 27-26, with 1:18 to go in the half.
I believe Hesterman's 5 out of 6 from the field now, and all of them from the outside.
And Hampton turns it over again. It will be Sterling's ball. 1:09 to go before halftime. And again, at halftime, we will have interviews from the D2 champion, Clearwater Cardinals. 1 minute. 1 minute to go in the second quarter. A nice fake. And now the shot, no good by Jim Bartles, and a foul is called. He didn't get the basket, but he drew the foul.
Turnovers are playing a pretty important role here. I believe Hampton has 13 turnovers at the present time, and Sterling has 8.
First, as you look at the last action, first substitute in the game for Hampton, Jim Toop comes in, a 6'3" junior, and Jim Hoffner goes out. And it won't drop for Bartles, Jim Bartles. But fouled in the act of shooting, he gets the second, and this one goes in. 28-26, Sterling by 2. Hampton led at the quarter by 6. But it's been close all the way, and it's stolen away again, this time by Jim Bartles. And a foul will be called on Steve Arndt of Hampton.
Sterling is really active in that press right at the present time.
Causing Hampton a lot of trouble with it, and Jim Bartles will be at the free throw line for 2 shots. Well, it looked close on paper, and it is developing just that way on the court. Both teams 22-1, both averaging about the same numbers on offense and defense. And right now, it's Sterling 29 and Hampton 26, with Bartles now cashing in for his 4th point.
It's not hard to see how these two teams won 44 and lost 2 between them. They've got good front lines and excellent guard play on both sides.
5 points now for Bartles, and it's 30-26. 36 seconds to go before halftime. Let's see if Hampton plays for a last shot here. I think they are going to do that with 27 seconds to go before halftime. Hampton is going to run the clock down, trailing by 4. Hampton has been outscored 20-10 here in the second quarter. Hykoff. A foul, I believe, on Jim Bartle. And that stops the clock with 8 seconds to go in the second quarter. Yep, the foul is on Bartles. And so we'll have free throws here. Trent Hykoff will shoot 1 and 1. 6'3" sophomore, the son of Hampton's head coach Jerry Hykoff. He'll earn the bonus. He averages 6.9 points a game and scored 2 in the opening round for Hampton and then 10 in the semifinals last night. Hampton back within 2, 8 seconds, now 7, 5 seconds. Haynes, and that's the end of the first half. That's the end of the first half with Sterling coming from behind to take a 30-28 lead. Hampton with 14 points from Brian Dick, 10 from Myron Parsley, while Sterling has gotten 12 from Dean Hesterman, 6 from Eric Haynes, 5 from Jim Bartles, 5 from Galen Bartles, and 2 from Mike Pychek. Hampton led 16-10 at the quarter. And now here at halftime, it is Sterling 30 and Hampton 28. And standing by with the Sterling head coach is Jeff Schmal.
With me, Sterling coach Jerry Beach. And coach, that press really did a job there in the second quarter.
Well, we had to do something. We came out real flat, and we had to get something to force the ball game. And we were hoping we'd be able to take advantage of maybe a little bit of their inexperience.
Now, I have an idea that we'll see more of that press the second half.
Definitely you will.
You have to be really happy. I know 10 turnovers you forced, primarily with that press.
Yeah, when we dropped down by 8 there at one time, we had to do something to get back in the ball game. We played a little more intensity, but we've got to shut Parsley and Dick off this second half because right now they're carrying their offensive load for them.
Okay, good luck. Go ahead and get a word with your kids. Back over to Dick.
Halftime in the D1 State Championship as we go out. A shot by Dean Hesterman. And the score here at intermission is Sterling 30 and Hampton 28. We'll be back with interviews from D2 champion Clearwater after this timeout.
The National Weather Service has just issued the second tornado warning of this evening of the spring season. This tornado warning is in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for people in the following counties: Eastern Knuckles and Western Thayer. Now we're going to take a look right now at the National Weather Service radar, and this is out of Grand Island, Nebraska, and it is that very strong, intense storm cell just across the southern portions of Nebraska. It is moving very slowly east-northeastward at 15 miles an hour, and it does include the towns of Angus, Nebraska, Lawrence, Nebraska, and Nelson, Nebraska as well. And these are in Eastern Knuckles and also for Thayer counties in Nebraska. Radar indicated a possible tornado between Lawrence and Nelson in Nebraska and moving to the east-northeast again at 15 miles an hour. Persons in the warned area should take shelter in a basement if available. Otherwise, go to a small interior room on the lowest floor. Again, a tornado warning is in effect until 6 o'clock p.m. for Eastern Knuckles and Western Thayer counties as these storms move very slowly east-northeast at 15 miles an hour for southern Nebraska. Stay tuned for more details.
Halftime of the D1 State Championship with Sterling leading Hampton 30-28. Well, earlier today, Clearwater took the Class D2 title with a 50-40 win over Amherst, the fourth straight state title for the Clearwater Cardinals. And after the game, Jeff Schmal spoke with the victorious Clearwater team.
Earlier this afternoon, Clearwater beat Amherst for the Class D2 state title, and this is getting to be a familiar position. Coach Rick Hesse here talking about his team state championships, the fourth one in a row now for the Clearwater Cardinals. Is it any different? Any changes?
Well, I think the first time I came here I said it was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deal, so I must have lived more than one life, but they're all just as good as the first, I'll guarantee you that.
What about getting in the history books? They've been playing the state tournament since 1911. No team has won 4 straight until now.
Yeah, that's incredible. We didn't really talk too much about 4 in a row, but just to imagine all the good teams you could go, that, you know, they've been down the pike. You can think of so many of them, and for these guys to, you know, put in the time and effort to be able to accomplish that is unbelievable.
Well, you might not have talked about it, but the folks in Clearwater did. They called this the 4th annual Invitational, maybe the 5th annual next year. You got a lot of kids coming back.
Well, we'd like to think we can come back again. We've got some awful good fans, and we do have some good kids coming back. With a little luck and a few breaks, you might see us again.
And good coaching.
Well, these guys make me look pretty good, if you want to put it that way.
Okay, Coach Rick Hesse, congratulations. Now let's bring in the 2 seniors. Only 2 seniors on this entire team, and the first one, Dave Manerick, and you guys get the nets for this one, huh?
Yeah, it's something we've worked pretty hard on over the years, so we're pretty lucky to be in it and to win it the 4th time.
I know you've been on this team for since you've been up in the high school. Does this thing mean any more, any difference for you?
Well, it's going out on a very high note, and I think it's the best way we could go out, so I'm real happy about it.
Okay, we've got a replay now of you in action. You were bombing them there from the outside. You like that?
Yeah, we work a lot on shooting, and heck, if it's there, and it feels right, I just pump them up. So.
Okay, let's bring in Kelly Prater. Kelly did not score today, but as always, ball hawking all over the place defensively, and Amherst made a run at you, though, there. You kind of had to get the composure back.
Yeah, we got out ahead of them pretty good at half, and they just come back on us. We had to work hard to keep them from coming all the way back on us.
Now, what about you, Kelly? This getting to be old hat for you, these TV interviews and everything like that, huh?
No, I think it gets more exciting every time. This one's just as good as any of them.
Did you ever believe back in 9th grade that you guys could win 4 straight like this?
No, I never had anything in mind like that, but once we got down here, we weren't going to quit, and we were shooting for this after we made it down here. So.
Okay, let's talk to a couple of the youngsters. Kelly Kirkman, the 6'6" junior, had 15 points today. Is it going to continue next year?
Oh, yeah. We'll be back. We'll be back.
No doubt about it, huh?
Nope, we're not ready to quit playing down here.
What is it with the Clearwater tradition or something? Is it something that maybe you guys have even grown up with a little bit the last few years? Or?
Well, we got great fans, and everybody really works hard to get down here, and when we get down here, we work harder.
And we got you in action here inside, and it was tough going in there, though. They were banging around pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty strong inside, pushing a little bit, but just push back.
Okay, let's bring in now Tim Teal. And Tim, you struggled a little bit early in the second half, but then I think in that 4th quarter you had 6 points, had 20 for the game, had 8 points in the 4th quarter, and maybe when it got down to take charge time, you were there and really had to make it go, didn't you?
Well, we like to think that anybody can take over a game. It's just a matter of who they let take over it. So I was the one, I guess, that's supposed to step in for it.
Coach Hesse, when you guys called timeout there in the 4th quarter, maybe you had to do a little bit of yelling for one of the first times, huh?
Well, he don't ever get too upset. We know what we're supposed to do, so he has to settle us down once in a while. So.
Now, who's got the most state medals in your family, or do you even know how many you've got in that family?
Well, we're even right now.
So next year you want to break the record, huh, and get your 4th?
Well, it'd sure be nice. I can't say I'd really like to break his record, but it'd be nice.
Okay, the Clearwater Cardinals, champions in Class D2 with a 50-40 win over Amherst. Clearwater winning it for the 4th straight year. Here you see some of the trophy presentations. Rod Sisson there getting his medal from Coach Rick Hesse, and a happy bunch of Clearwater Cardinals as they win the Class D2 crown. We'll have more halftime activities right after this.
Back in the Class D1 state championship game, here's another look at some of the action toward the end of the first half of play. There you see a basket by Brian Dick. He leads the Hampton scoring with 14 points. Sterling is being led by Dean Hesterman, their 5'10" guard out front with 12. He's the only man in double figures now for the Jets. And standing by now with the Hampton coach. Well, first here's the halftime stats. 57% for Hampton from the field, 43% for Sterling. free throws, you can see Sterling has made 10 of 12, and Hampton is out rebounding Sterling 14-9 right now, and Hampton also with those 14 turnovers. Now here's Jeff standing by with the Hampton coach.
With me, Hampton coach Jerry Eichhoff. And coach, that half-court press gave you fits in the second quarter.
Yeah, we had a real good first quarter, and it didn't bother us the first quarter. They got a little more aggressive, and it started bothering us. Hopefully we made some adjustments to move some people around. We're going to come back and try to attack it and score off from it.
You kept your kids in the locker room for quite a while. Did you get after them a little bit?
Well, I felt that we came out real strong in the first quarter, and we lost our momentum. And it wasn't that they weren't trying. Sterling is an awfully good team, and they're real physical. We're giving it our best shot. We had a lot of adjustments to make, so that's what took so long.
Feel good maybe where you're at, though, and your chances still?
Real good. We got to come out and regain the momentum the third quarter.
Okay, good luck, coach.
Thank you.
Let's go back over to Dick.
Sterling outscored Hampton 20-12 in that second quarter. Here's another look at some of the action toward the end of the half, and we'll be back with the second half after this timeout. The same fives that started the game will start the second half. Sterling will be moving from left to right, Hampton from right to left. Sterling with the possession to start the second half as it goes inside to Galen Bartles. And the Jets waste no time in extending their lead to 32-28 now. 4-point advantage for the Sterling Jets, and the half-court pressure again. Steve Arndt.
Sterling's back their press off just a little bit again, but I expect we'll see it creeping back down the floor as we progress through the second half.
Steve Arndt and Myron Parsley, the Hampton guards. Trent Eichhoff and Jim Hopner are the forwards. And Brian Dick at center, and a foul is called on Mike Pychek of Sterling. Dean Hesterman and Eric Haynes are the Sterling guards, with Jim Bartles and Mike Pychek at forwards and Galen Bartles at center.
I think we're all getting an opportunity to see the caliber of basketball they play in these two conferences, the Crossroads and the Homesteader. These two conferences have won 6 out of the last 8 state championships.
Myron Parsley with the basketball for Hampton to Arndt. Inside it goes. And nothing but netting for Brian Dick. Makes it 32-30. Sterling up by a deuce. Here's Hesterman. Jim Bartles. Mike Pychek. And it's 34-30. Hampton again down by 4. Arndt breaks the half-court press. Parsley. Myron Parsley now with 12 points. And it's 34-32. Sterling by 2 again. Dean Hesterman at the top of the key. The Sports Center beginning to fill up as Bartles hits the heel, and the rebound comes to Brian Dick.
I think it's also given us a chance to look at the caliber of coaches that are coaching in these conferences. Coach Eichhoff now has really made some excellent adjustments. He's moving Parsley around on the offensive end, then working high-low inside with Brian Dick and Jim Hopner. So they're really doing a good job attacking the press the zone right now.
Sterling gets the basketball, leading by 2. 34-32, inside Bartles. And the rebound to Parsley. With tonight's evening session yet to go, just over 10,000 needed to break the all-time state tournament attendance record, which was set in the first year that the Sports Center was used back in 1976 of 90,952. So it looks like we'll have a new attendance record for the tournament this year, especially with the crowd that's moving in here tonight. Now, 2 Lincoln schools do play this evening, and that will help the crowd, with Pius playing in Class B and Northeast in Class A. And a lot of Norfolk and Aurora fans are going to be here too.
Hampton's strategy, of course, with the diamond and 2 is to take the Sterling guards out of the play here.
And Hampton wants timeout. Timeout on the court with 4:54 to go in the third quarter, and the score in the D1 state championship is Sterling 36 and Hampton 32. Well, last week it was Adams that won a girls' state title, and there's Trudy Verhusen and I believe Melissa Unvert cheering for Sterling here. Sterling and Adams located fairly close to one another in the southeastern part of the state here, so when Trudy is not playing for the Adams girls team, she is out cheering at boys games. She's also a cheerleader at Adams High School. And a foul is called here. 4:40 to go in the third quarter. And the foul is called on Eric Haynes. His first. It's 36-32. Sterling leading by 4 over the Hampton Hawks. But Hampton with the basketball. Arndt out front. And a whistle. Foul will be called on Mike Pychek. And Sterling is about to make its first substitution of the game. Not a single substitute came in the first half. As you take another look at that last foul, a little too close there for Pychek. And he'll go to the bench now with 4 fouls. In for him is Steve Weber, a 6'5 junior, number 21. Weber in for Sterling, and Pychek out with 4 fouls. Parsley. And Arndt with the rebound for Hampton. Saved in, no, not quite saved, just about saved by Galen Bartles, but Hampton will get it. Now a substitute for Hampton. Shane Dozie comes in, a 5'10 junior. Trent Eichhoff goes out. Eichhoff 6'3, Dozie 5'10, so Hampton gives up a little height with that substitution. Arndt out front is only 5'10, and so he and Dozie both 5'10 at the guard spots now. Arndt will take it, and the rebound to Dozie. And traveling called on Arndt. 3:50 to go, third quarter. Sterling leading Hampton by 4, and Sterling will bring it up. Eric Haynes, he draws the foul. It's going to be called on Shane Dozie. And that is the first team foul of this second half for the Hampton Hawks. Haynes will get 2. He has 6 points, all in the first half. Balanced attack for Sterling, led by Hesterman with 12. Now Haynes has 7 and Galen Bartles has 7, while Pychek has 6 and Jim Bartles has 5.
I think both of the defenses have made some pretty good adjustments here at halftime. They sort of have the offenses under control right now, but I think you'll see these offenses adjusting here in a little bit.
Hampton led by 6 at the quarter. That was their biggest lead, and now Sterling enjoys its biggest lead of the game, 5 points. And the foul will be called on Myron Parsley.
As you can see, the Sterling defense is leaning on Parsley there a little bit, and they're giving up the shot at the top of the key, and it's going to be important that they hit a few of those.
Common foul, and Sterling will bring it up from backcourt. Second personal on Parsley. Hesterman out front to Haynes, way out there. And Eric Haynes puts Sterling up by 7. 39-32. That would have counted for 3 in the college game. 2:54 to go, third quarter. Hampton down by 7. Air ball. Haynes brings it up for the Sterling Jets. And a foul will be called on Dozie. And Hampton wants timeout. We'll keep it right here with 2:43 to go in the third period. Sterling has jumped up to a 7-point lead, and here's another look at the last foul by Dozy. You see him reaching in right there. And that his second personal. Each team now with 3 team fouls. And so Hampton has some adjusting to do.
Well, as you can see down here on the defensive end, Sterling pretty much is matched up with the Hampton offensive alignment, and it's making it increasingly difficult for Hampton to swing the ball or to move the ball at this point in time. So they're going to have to make some adjustments, and I'm sure that's why we have the timeout.
The Sterling fans on their feet and cheering "Go Big Jets." The Class B title game will follow this one between 19-4 Pius and 21-3 Aurora. And then the Class A championship between Norfolk and Lincoln Northeast.
Sterling has made somewhat the same adjustment with their half-court zone defense down here that they did with their full-court press early in the second half. They sort of got them matched up, and of course, early in the second quarter, that created a lot of turnovers for Hampton.
Jets with the basketball and the lead by 7. Hampton 2 for 7 from the floor this half. So the Hawks have been kind of cold here in the third quarter, just as Sterling was cold in the first period. 2:24 to go in the third quarter. Weber around the horn. Esterman will take it, get his own rebound, and now a whistle. Foul called on the fight for the rebound, and let's see who it's on here.
Fouls on Weber. Sterling, his first foul.
It's called on Steve Weber of Sterling.
That was a good defensive effort by Hampton. They were really active on the 2 men they were playing man-to-man on, and Sterling was a little reluctant to shoot with the big people from outside.
Traveling. And Hampton turns it over again. 2 minutes exactly. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Sterling with its biggest lead of the game of 7 points. Hampton led by as many as 6. That was their lead at the end of the first quarter. Trying to get it into Haynes, almost knocked away by Brian Dick. And now Haynes inside. That's 11 points for Haynes, and it's 41-32, Sterling by 9. Biggest lead of the game. And now Hampton moves into the 1-1, so that might be a factor here, as that is the 5th team foul against Sterling. It's called on Steve Weber, his second.
Well, Sterling's 5 for 9 this quarter from the field, and Hampton's only 2 for 7, so I think that accounts a little bit why that score is getting spread out a little bit.
Parsley earns the bonus. He now has 13 points. It's 41-33. Sterling by 8.
Only one of those Hampton shots has been down in the paint. All the rest of them been outside, and so that again means that the Sterling defense has done a good job of matching up.
1:30 to go in the third quarter. 41-34, 7-point advantage for the Sterling Jets. Blocked away nicely in there by Jim Hopner, but Sterling retains possession. Esterman and Haynes, he'll take it and make it. That would have counted for 3 in college ball again, but 2 here with 1 minute to go in the third quarter. It's 43-34, Sterling by 9 again. Won't fall, and the rebound to Weber. Sterling taking command here in the third quarter. Sterling led by 2 at halftime, 30-28. Rebound fought for, and a foul called on the rebound. It's going to be against somebody from Sterling. 31 seconds to go, third quarter. Sterling 43, Hampton 34. Here's another look at that last foul, and it is called on Galen Bartles, his first personal. So they'll go to the other end for the 1-and-1, and Brian Dick will be at the line. He leads all scorers with 16 points right now. Exactly his average coming into the tournament. So he has now exceeded his average, and it's 43-35. Sterling by 8. (43-36). Sterling by a half dozen. Hesterman. And the foul will be called on either Arndt or Hoffner of Hampton. It's on Hoffner. Watch for number 32 in the white right here. No, check that. It wasn't on Hoffner. It was on Trent Eichhoff, number 30.
Haynes and Hesterman have both become much more aggressive on the offensive end, the two guards for Sterling, and of course that's having a detrimental effect for Hampton right now.
Hesterman had 12 points the first half, has not scored yet here in the second half. And Hampton comes down with the ball. Jim Toop in the game again for the Hawks. Got that last rebound. Parsley, nice move. And now Hampton back within 5. 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now 7. Haynes, he'll take it. 2 seconds, 1, and it's in at the buzzer. It will count for Galen Bartles. And that's the end of the third quarter. The score in the D1 State Championship is now Sterling 45 and Hampton 38. Here's that last action. The shot put up by Haynes, and Bartles was there for the rebound. Watch the light behind the basket. That goes on when the buzzer goes off. Well, you can't see it there, but it did. The basket went in just before the light came on, and so it counts. And Sterling outscored Hampton 15-10 in that third quarter to lead by 7 now, 45-38. Hampton, though, with the ball to start the fourth and final quarter. And there's Brian Dick.
See, they moved Parsley back out on the point again where the opening has been, and when they came out to get him there, he was able to get the ball into Dick for the shot on the high post.
45-40, 5-point lead for Sterling. And the Jets have the basketball. Haynes, rebound to Bartles, knocked out of bounds by Hampton. Good defensive work there by the Hawks. Sterling will keep it, though, under its own goal. Mike Pychek will inbound. Back in there now. Pychek playing with 4 fouls. Haynes. Again, Galen Bartles with the rebound and the putback. That's 11 points for Bartles, and it's 47-40. Sterling again by 7. Just under 7 minutes to go in the game. Arndt. And that's his first point since the first quarter. He now has 4.
That's what Hampton needs. Hampton needs a little help from the outside.
And a foul called. It's on Myron Parsley, right in front of the table here, and you can see the contact. So Dean Hesterman will go to the free throw line for 1-and-1. Third foul on Parsley. That's what should get Hampton back in the game, is if Sterling starts to miss its free throws. Now both teams in the 1-and-1.
It always seems to come down to that. The
It
last
sure
few
does.
minutes, whether you can make your free throws or not.
The Hawks with the basketball, down by 5. Arndt, you said that's what they needed, and they get it again. And it's 47-44, a three-point game. This one is going to go down to the wire. Haynes. He's cooled off, and now Arndt with the rebound for Hampton, and the momentum has swung to the Hawks, although they do still trail by 3.
It just goes to show what a couple outside shots, a missed free throw can do.
And there's Brian Dick for Hampton. And it's 47-46. Sterling by 1, and the Jets say stop the music. Timeout called with 5:54 to go in the game, and the score in the D1 state championship is Sterling 47, Hampton 46. Here's that last basket by Brian Dick inside as he put it up and in the paint there. And now Sterling with the ball, leading by just 1. Haynes, and now Sterling gets the basket. Haynes with his first points of the fourth quarter, and it's 49-46. Sterling by 3.
Those 2 outside shots by Steve Arndt were really, really big baskets. That has been the spot that they've been leaving open just a little bit. Now, I'm not sure Sterling wants to do that anymore.
Sterling really needed that timeout right there to slow things down. There's Arndt again, though. It didn't slow him up. He now has 8, and it's a 1-point game again. Sterling 49, Hampton 48. 5 minutes to go in the game.
Arndt came into the tournament averaging 11 points a ball game, and he's been averaging about 17 down here. So he's had good nights here already.
Haynes out front to Hesterman. Galen Bartles. And a foul will be called on Parsley, and that's number 4 on him. Sterling led it by 2 at the half and led by 7 after 3 quarters. It's a 1-point game right now with Galen Bartles at the free throw line for 1-1. Parsley is going to stay in the game with the 4 fouls. Coaches are telling him now about the situation, that he has 4 to be careful. But Parsley is staying in there, and Hampton with the rebound and the chance to take the lead.
There we go with those missed free throws again.
Hampton has not had the lead since the second quarter. Eric Haynes with the ball for Sterling. 4:28 to go in the contest. Hesterman and Haynes. Jim Bartles. Tapped away from Galen Bartles, and Arndt will bring it up and set up the offense. 4:12 to go now. Traveling. Big turnover there.
Offensive rebounds are starting to play a pretty important part in this game. Galen Bartles has 7 offensive rebounds for the game. I think 5 of them this half.
Boy, he has really been a force under there. He's just about picked up everything that Sterling has missed. Whoop, traveling there. Traveling on Mike Pychek. Sterling coach Jerry Beach looks skyward. And now Hampton with the chance to take the lead again. It's still Sterling on top, but just by 1, 49-48, 3:47 to go in the game. And a foul will be called on Bartles, Galen Bartles. And it'll be Hoffner at the free throw line. Now let's see if Hampton can make its free throw.
Coach Eichhoff undoubtedly did a great job at halftime with the adjustment against that press. It hasn't been near as big a factor this half.
You can see the heavy contact there. That's the second personal on Galen Bartles. Hoffner has not scored yet tonight. 6'3" senior, 6.5 point per game average coming into the tournament, and then he had 3 in the opening round and 13 in the semifinals last night. Jim Hoffner. This would tie it. And it's 49. The game was tied one other time. That was way back in the second quarter. And now it's tied again. And now Hampton has the lead for the first time since the second quarter.
That was two big free throws.
50-49, 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Fans are starting to edge toward the edge of their seats. And Haynes puts it in. 17 points for Haynes, and it's 51-50. Seesaw back and forth now, with Sterling up by one again. Won't go, but Parsley with the rebound. Brian Dick, and the basket will count. He's fouled and it counts, and that's a big play right there.
Well, we've been talking about Sterling on the offensive board, and then Brian Dick comes right back and does it on his end.
Here's another look, and the foul was called on Galen Bartles, his third. And so Brian Dick at the free throw line now could put his team, Hampton, up by 2. Dick has 24 points so far. Can't get number 25, and so Hampton remains up by 1 with 3 minutes to go in the game. Hampton 52, Sterling 51. The kind of finish that we thought this one might come down to. Haynes, and the rebound to Arndt. Here comes Hampton leading by a point.
I see that Hampton's made a little defensive change. They have young Eichhoff now guarding Haynes.
And 3 seconds called against Parsley of Hampton. So it's the turnover to Sterling, and timeout is called. Timeout on the court with 2:42 to go in the game. And the score in the D1 Boys State Championship. Hampton 52, Sterling 51. Here's another look at one of the baskets by Eric Haynes, the last one that he made to give Sterling 51, but Hampton now has 52. 52-51, Hampton with the lead, but Sterling with the ball. 2:30 to go in the game, almost stolen away by Trent Eichhoff. But the Jets keep it. 2:21 to go. Hesterman partially blocked, and a foul called on Eichhoff. Eichhoff with the foul, and so Hesterman will go to the free throw line. Now, Sterling has kind of been cold at the line here lately. Let's see what Hesterman can do. He hasn't scored at all in the second half.
Hampton's gone to a little more of a conventional matchup 2-3 zone down here at the present time, so it's going to be interesting to see who Sterling elects to have shoot the ball here in the closing minutes of the game.
First point of the second half for Dean Hesterman. A big free throw there, and it's tied again. 52-52. Now Sterling up by 1 again. 14 points for Hesterman. 2:15 to go in the game. The Hampton Hawks down by 1 with the basketball. Fans from both sides on their feet. They had the wave going during that last break. Around the horn it goes to Eichhoff. Arndt. Eichhoff. And the rebound to Sterling. Sterling with the ball and the lead by 1. 1:49 to go in the game. Here come the Jets. Eric Haynes. 1:40 to go. Hesterman. Eric Haynes. Galen Bartels. Count it. Big basket for Galen Bartels, and it's 55-52. Timeout called with 1:22 to go. Hampton will have the basketball. We'll keep it right here with Sterling leading it by 3. And a big series coming up here, a big play coming up for Hampton. Don't forget, we'll have the Class B state championship between Pius and Aurora following this game. And then the A title game to cap our day of basketball. Norfolk and Lincoln Northeast. Earlier today, In Class C2, Humphrey beat Nemaha Valley by 10. Humphrey takes the C2 crown. In C1, Fremont Bergen beat Sutton 72-61. Fremont Bergen takes the C1 crown. And in D2, it was Clearwater over Amherst 50-40. Clearwater wins its 4th straight state championship.
The last 2 times down the floor, Hampton has got 2 excellent shots. They just haven't been able to get them to go down. So again, now it's going to be a little bit of a decision time on the part of Hampton who they want to take this one, because it's pretty important now that they get this one down.
Arndt has been hot here in the 4th quarter. He has 6 points here in the 4th quarter. Parsley is their, or I should say Brian Dick is their leading scorer with 24 points, and Parsley has 16. So you'd probably think about one of those 3. However, the last time down, it was Eichhoff that wound up taking the shot, and then they missed a follow try 2 before Sterling finally got the rebound. Now let's see what the Hawks do. 1:22 to go in the game. Hampton trailing by 3. Hampton led by 6 at the quarter, trailed by 2 at the half, and trailed by 7 after 3 periods. Eichhoff. Parsley. Myron Parsley. And it's a 1-point game again with 1 minute to go. 55-54, Sterling by 1. Less than a minute to go in the game. Hesterman out front for the Sterling Jets. They lead it by 1. And it's almost stolen away, Brian Dick. And now it is stolen away by Parsley. 42 seconds to go. Here comes Hampton. The Hampton Hawks are going to perhaps run the clock down a bit, trailing by 1. Sterling leads it 55-54. Parsley!
I haven't been surprised. I thought it'd be Parsley they'd go to coming down the stretch.
22 seconds to go now. Hampton by 1. 56-55. What a game! Timeout called by Sterling. Timeout with 17 seconds to go, and now Sterling will play for the last potential game-winning shot perhaps here. A 1-point game, Sterling trailing by 1. The 2 coaches are talking it over. There you see Jerry Beach, the Sterling coach. What do you think the strategy will be?
Well, I've noticed the decision probably Sterling has trying to figure out what type of defense that Hampton's going to be in. They've been in that triangle on 2, then they got in more of a conventional matchup, and I think the last time down they were in a man-to-man when they stole the ball. So Sterling's got a decision to make over there what kind of defense Hampton's going to be in.
That last basket by Myron Parsley, he now has 20 points. He and Brian Dick have 44 of the 56 Hampton points.
What Hampton's going to have to be careful of course, is the offensive rebound. That when Sterling takes it, they really got to block off and really got to get after the ball, because one thing you don't want to have happen is to have him miss a shot and then get the put back and beat you right at the end.
And Galen Bartles, as we've commented, has really been controlling those offensive boards for Sterling.
And I'm sure that's what Hampton's talking about over there right now. I'll bet you one of the last things they'll say, just make sure they only get 1 shot.
17 seconds to go in the D1 state championship game. Hampton leads 56-55. It's been tied and seesawed back and forth here in the 4th quarter. Here we go. Sterling with the basketball, trailing by 1. Eric Haynes. Count it with 9 seconds now, 8. Hampton will bring it right up. Hampton trailing by 1. 2 seconds, 1. Parsley, no good at the buzzer, and Sterling has won the game, 57-56. The Sterling Jets are the 1987 Class D1 state champs.
Well, that was a tough shot he hit down on the baseline. I thought Hampton, did as good a job as they could under the circumstances right there. They didn't want to give up the foul, but all credit to Haynes. He was able to get the shot down.
Eric Haynes with the game-winning shot. 8 seconds to go in the game when he hit it. Here's another look. Eric Haynes, number 35, puts it up, and it's in. 8 seconds on the clock when it went down. Hampton brought it right up the floor. Parsley tried to take the shot with about 1 second to go, and he just couldn't quite get it there. And boy, what a game. Sterling wins it by 1 after leading by 7 at the end of 3 periods and after leading by 2 at halftime. But a very big finish to what we thought would be just the kind of close game that it was. And Sterling wins it 57-56.
I think the replay showed just what we were talking about there. Looked like great defensive play by Hampton. They were right there, hand in his face. But as I said again, credit Eric Haynes. He just hit a super bass. See right here?
They didn't want to foul him, but they did have the good defensive posture on him. And Eric Haynes with the winning basket for Sterling. Unofficially, he led Sterling with 19 points. Dean Hesterman had 14, Galen Bartles had 13, Mike Pychek 6, and Jim Bartles 5. For Hampton, 24 points for Brian Dick, 20 for Myron Parsley, 8 for Steve Arndt, 2 for Trent Eichhoff, and 2 for Jim Hoppner. And once again, the final score in the D1 State Championship is Sterling 57 and Hampton 56.
The runner-up